Good afternoon students, welcome to the online class of biology. In today's class we'll continue with the unit 3 next topic, that is chromosomes. We'll see the structure of chromosome in this diagrammatic representation of chromosome. This is the chromosome. Chromosomes, as we have discussed earlier, they are the hereditary material that is passed on from the parents to the offsprings. Chromosomes are the main hereditary material that is passed on from the parents to the offsprings. Chromosomes, we have seen, they are consisting of the DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acids, and they also have some proteins, and chromosomes are located inside the nucleus of both animal and plant cells. Chromosomes we see inside the nucleus of plants and animal cells. So chromosomes are termed as the hereditary material or hereditary vehicles which is getting passed from one generation to the other generation. Chromosome structure. In this structure, chromosome, you can see the arms of chromosomes. You can see the telomere here, and you can see secondary construction and primary construction. Arms of the chromosomes. The centromere of the chromosome. Centromere will be present at this point. It will divide the chromosome into two halves. Centromere is dividing the chromosome into two halves called arms of chromosome. The short arm of the chromosome, we will call it as P arm, and the long arms of the chromosome we call it as Q arms. And we have here telomere, the end of each chromosome. Telo means end. The end of each chromosome we call it as telomere. And we have here two regions called primary constriction and the secondary constriction. The first region, primary constriction, here at this region chromosome will bend. In the primary constriction region, the chromosome will show the bending, and this is the region of chromosome occupied by the centromere. Primary constriction is the region of chromosome which is occupied by the centromere, and this centromere is dividing the chromosomes into two halves called arms of the chromosomes. Next we have secondary constrictions. Regions. This secondary constriction are the region found at any point of the chromosomes other than the primary constriction. Other than the primary constriction, the region found on the chromosome, we call it as secondary constriction. So we have this chromosome structure which is showing the arms, two arms. Centromere will divide the chromosome into two halves called arms of chromosome, and two regions we see on the chromosome is the primary constriction and the secondary constriction. Primary constriction is helping in dividing the chromosome into two halves called arms. Primary constriction is nothing but it is the region of chromosome which is occupied by the centromere, which is dividing the chromosome into two halves. And at the primary constriction, the chromosome will show the bending. Secondary constriction is the region found at any point of the chromosome other than the primary constriction. Other than primary constriction, we call it as secondary constriction. Next we have here diagrammatic representation of types of chromosome on the basis of number of centromeres. This is the centromere which will divide the chromosome into two parts. This is the centromere. Basing on the number of centromeres present on the chromosome, we have different types of chromosomes. First one here is acentric chromosome. On the acentric chromosome, you will not find the centromere. Can you see the centromere on the acentric chromosome? No. So chromosomes without a centromere, we call it as acentric chromosome. Next we have monocentric chromosome. Chromosome with one centromere. Chromosome with one centromere, we call it as monocentric chromosomes. Only one chromosome you can see, only one centromere. Next we have dicentric chromosomes with two centromeres. We call it as dicentric. You can see one centromere and the second centromere. So chromosome with two centromeres, we call it as dicentric chromosomes. Next we have polycentric chromosomes, chromosomes with more than two centromeres, more than two. We have here three. So chromosomes with more than two centromeres, we call it as polycentric chromosomes. So basing on the number of chromosomes, we have different types of number of centromeres, we have different types of chromosomes. First one is acentric, second one is monocentric, third one is dicentric, fourth one is polycentric. Different types of chromosomes basing on the number of centromeres. The chromosomes are categorized into all these types. Next we have diagrammatic representation of types of chromosomes on the basis of position of centromere. The position of centromere you can see here. In telocentric, centromere is lying at the end or the terminal end of the chromosome. In telocentric, at the end of the chromosome we see centromere. Centromere, this small round structure is the centromere, which we see only at the end of the chromosome. This circle, small circle, is at the end of the chromosome. This small circle is the centromere, which we found at the end of the chromosome. So we call it as telocentric chromosome. In telocentric chromosome, one arm is very long and the other arm will be very short. And next we have acrocentric. Centromere lies in the terminal position and the chromosome this chromosome acrocentric, the chromosome is lying at the terminal position, which is having this chromosome is having this arms. Next we have submetacentric. Centromere will be present in submetacentric. Centromere will be present away from the midpoint, away from the middle of the chromosome. Centromere, which is away from the middle point of the chromosome, in submetacentric, the length of the chromosome arms is becoming unequal. In submetacentric, the length of the chromosome arms is becoming unequal. This is one of the arms and this is the second arm. The length of both the chromosomes are not equal. The length of the chromosome arms is unequal due to the presence of the centromere away from the middle point of the chromosome in submetacentric chromosomes. Next we have metacentric chromosomes or mediocentric chromosomes, which is lying in the center of the chromosomes. You can see here the centromere is lying in the somewhat center of the chromosome and will divide the chromosome into two arms or the two parts. The centromere lying at the center of the chromosome in metacentric chromosomes. So basing on the position of centromere, where the centromere is present on the chromosome, we have different types of chromosomes like telocentric, acrocentric, submetacentric and metacentric chromosomes. In normal humans, every cell will contain 46 chromosomes. In human beings, every cell will contain how many chromosomes? 46 chromosomes. After chromosomes, we have here next topic, that is variation. Variation is nothing but differences. Differences we see in the organisms. No two organisms will be exactly similar. The differences is nothing but the variations which we see in the organisms in a population is nothing but the variation. Any difference we see between cells or the individual organisms or group of organisms of any species caused by genetic differences genotypic variations or by the environmental factors on the expression of the genetic potential. It is nothing but the phenotypic variations. Physical appearance of the organisms, height, weight, size, shape, we call it as physical appearance, the phenotypic variation. Phenotype is the physical appearance, genotype is related to the genes. Variation may be shown in physical appearance, the metabolism, the chemical reactions going on in the organisms, in the fertility, mode of reproduction, behavior, learning and mental ability, or the measurable characters. Basing on this, we see differences or the variation. Difference or the variation is same. We see when we see the difference between two organisms living in a population, because no two organisms will be exactly similar to one another. We see differences in their height between two organisms. There will be difference in the height. That difference is nothing but the variation. Difference can be either in the phenotypic appearance or in the genotypic appearance of a population. Next we have speciation. Speciation is nothing but the term speciation refers to evolution of new species. When a population of single species becomes reproductively isolated from the other population of species, such that genetic composition also becomes different and no genetic exchange occurs between two populations. Here, speciation is nothing but it occurs in a group, within a group, or when a group of individuals will separate from the other members. A member is separating from the other members and developing its own characters. When an organism is separating from the other members, when it is separating from the other members, it is developing its own characters, own different characters. The organism which is developing its own characters, these characters will be different from the members of a population. So, speciation is nothing but evolution of new species. New species will be evolved when it is developing its own characters, which is these characters will be different from the other members of the population. Then, due to speciation, new kind of animals or plants will be created. Due to speciation, new kind of plants or animals will be created because it is developing its own characters by getting isolated, separated from the other members. And genetic composition, the genes will also vary, will also become different, and no genetic exchange, chromosomes, genetic exchange, gene transfer will not take place between two populations. This is nothing but the speciation. It occurs when a group of members will separate from the other group of members and develop its own characters and evolve into a new kind of animal or a new kind of plant which is different from the population, and it is evolving into a new organism or a new species. Species is nothing but the group of individuals, group of organisms. We call it as species, group of organisms, group of individuals. We see in a population, we call it as species. Speciation is taking place in two ways. First one we see is allopatric speciation, and the second one is sympatric speciation. Allopatric speciation and sympatric speciation. In allopatric speciation, the term allo here is different. Different land. This type of speciation will occur when one population becomes separated from the rest of the population. Isolation of population is taking place here. Separation of population is taking place due to geographical changes. Different geographical changes is leading to isolation of population. The different types of geographical changes like formation of mountains, natural phenomena, cyclones. The geographical changes like formation of mountains is leading to separation of a population. When this population is getting separated due to different geographical changes which is occurring in the nature, the separated population will evolve into new species by the natural selection or the genetic drift. Means the genetic drift is nothing but the size of the population will get reduced. The diversity of the population will get reduced by the genetic drift as the separation of population is taking place due to the geographical changes in the nature. The different geographical changes like formation of mountains will separate the population, and this population will evolve by the natural selection or the genetic drift. Genetic drift here is the size of population will get decreased. Next we have sympatric speciation. It occurs when two groups of same species live in same geographical location. They are living in the same geographical location, but they are evolving differently and are considered different species. Sim means together. They are living in the same geographical location. They are not getting separated as we have seen in the previous one, that is allopatric speciation. Due to geographical changes, the mountains were separating the population, but here sim means together. They are not getting separated, but they are living in the same geographical location. They are living in the same geographical location, same together, but they are evolving into a new species differently and are considered different species, though they are living in the same geographical regions. This is the schematic representation of allopatric and sympatric speciation. You can see here in the allopatric speciation, due to geographical barrier, the ancestral species or the past population, ancestral species is nothing but the past population, it is getting separated due to formation of mountains, which is the geographical barrier. The last one we were discussing, the schematic representation of the sympatric and allopatric speciation. In allopatric speciation, the past population or the ancestral species is nothing but the past population. Due to different geographical barriers like mountains, formation of mountains is separating the population. You can see here two different populations we see due to the geographical barrier, and new species, new organisms. Species is nothing but group of individuals or the group organisms. Organisms is nothing but the species. New species will be formed by the allopatric speciation. We need to see the diagram of sympatric speciation also. In this sympatric speciation, the past population, nothing but the ancestral species, is in sympatric speciation. Sim means together. They are living together in the same geographical location, but they are evolving differently into this new species, reproductive isolation within the population. Separation of the population, though they are living in the same geographical location by reproductive isolation in sympatric speciation. Next we have genes. Genes are the basic unit of all living organisms. Genes. We were discussing about the genes. Genes are the basic units of hereditary information which is getting transmitted from parents to offsprings, from one generation to other. So the basic hereditary information transmitted from one generation to other are nothing but the genes. They will be having DNA and they are present inside the living organisms. They will provide all the instructions important necessary for the living organisms to grow and live. In the genes, DNA will be genes will be composed of the DNA. DNA will be having some combining with proteins which will be organizing into the chromosomes, which we have seen during the process of cell division, mitosis and meiosis. So the information which is there in the DNA is present by the nitrogenous bases. We have seen adenine, cytosine, guanine, thymine. That nitrogenous bases will be present in every organisms on the earth. Differences between that nitrogen bases, adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, will result in production of different amino acids, and different amino acids will combine together and form the proteins, and proteins are mainly responsible for the physical characters of the living organisms, are the main for carrying the physiological activities of all the living organisms. So genes are very important. It will be combined with proteins to form a complex. DNA will be combined with specialized proteins to form a complex called as the genes, which is the basic hereditary unit of all the organisms, which is helping in transmission from one generation to the other generation. So thank you students. Next class will continue with the next topic of unit 3.